goals. Okay, as you're just starting, we want to make sure you're having realistic goals. Sometimes what gets people tired in this design is setting unrealistic goals for themselves. Okay, so I really want to show you guys the way you can actually create your design as you're just starting, so that your design can be as good as possible. So we wanted to start creating everything. We have all the pages we need to create, like the dashboard, the upload, image upload, blah 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 blah, and so you have it. So I'm going to complete this, showing you all the process we are going to be using. Now for this, we were looking at creating here. So here we said we're going to have a file, and it's going to have two options, so that we can either upload or have an upload an image or take a selfie. So we went to Dribble, and when we went to Dribble, we were looking for something like web file upload screen UI. So we added web here so that it could represent websites, so we won't see much of mobile phones. Okay, if we're looking for mobile phones, we'll look for mobile. So you can also see how I'm framing my search. It can also be better. It depends on what you are looking for. So you can see some of the screens that have appeared here. We can pick some of them for inspiration. So you can see this one. And I told you guys last time that as you are looking at these things, you are not just looking at maybe color or whatever it is. You are looking at the patterns, the structure, the layout. That is what you should be looking at. And as you are looking at it, at the same time, try imagine your own content inside the designs, inside the layout. Okay? Try imagine your own content inside the layout. Right now, our content is what we need two options. We need to add a picture option and an upload option. So looking at this, I can say, okay, we can open this up. Okay. We can also, let me also take a look at this. We can open this up. We can open this. There's this other one I saw. And let's open this one. Okay, so anytime I'm on Dribble, I try opening the one from either the team or pro, although you can also see some that are very good for inspiration aside them, but it's always good to go with those ones. So you can just scroll around more. Let's see if we can get any other one. Let's take a look at this other one. Okay, um so yeah. And there's one I saw last during our last class. I can't find it again, but I will really want to incorporate that. So let's come in here. Okay, you can see how this one simply looks like. Very nice. So we can now say, okay, let's replicate something like this. Okay, but in this case, we are going to make it work for us. So it's also like a pop-up. You can see it's like a pop-up. This one here is also like a pop-up. Okay, you can see how it looks like. You upload, you drag your files. And here also we have something like this that looks like a pop-up. Okay, I'm trying to admit some people. Okay, so you can also see this one, and this one we can actually see how it looks like when the picture is inside. Okay, so these are just inspiration. Like I said, as we are looking at this, we are imagining our own content inside. As you are starting, don't be after saying, okay, I want to create things on my own. As you're starting, it's just going to be difficult for you. You need to have experience to be able to create some of these things. Okay, you need to have some form of experience. So right now, this is what I have taken here, but we are not replicating this exactly. Instead, we are using it as an inspiration. Okay, we are using it as an inspiration to basically design our own. So let's see, let me do some block framing. So with this, I can have this, we can have our title here that says upload a photo. Now, if we want to improve the user experience, we can give people more context of what they are going to upload right here. Just like these people said, for best results, video upload should be at least blah, 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 blah. So we can also include something like this if we like it. So this is what you learn by looking at other people's design and understanding what they did behind that design. So if you read this and you don't understand what they mean, please don't use it. You need to understand what they mean here. Okay, so we're going to have this like a sub content here. Then inside here we're going to have our field inside here. Okay, but we're going to have two options here. I'm just trying to switch things up. We're going to have two options here. Okay, two options here. One of them will be scan, and one of them will be what? Upload. Okay, so let me switch. Okay, so let me allow some people in. So like I said, one of them is going to be scan, one of them is going to be what? Upload. Okay, and right here we are going to have our button to say find my or to say upload, and then here we can have our cancel. Now, do you see that I didn't have anything like step-by-step guide? Instead, I'm using this as an inspiration, as a beginner, so that as I'm designing, I'm now going to be checking against this design to see if it's working. Okay, I might not necessarily have this outline, but this has given me enough inspiration to start my design, and also a way to also be writing my content. So let me go ahead and remove this, and let's bring back our grid. Okay, let's bring back our grid, layout grid, and we're going to be using this particular one. I think okay, although okay, let's do this. Let's create a new grid. So let's create a new grid for our design. So the way it works is this: if you want to start creating grid for the content of your design when working on a web app, okay, this has already taken 256 of the entire screen. The width of this is 256. So to get your screen, you need to work with this space remaining. You need to minus 256 from this space that is remaining, okay? Because this is your sidebar. Are we together? So you need to calculate your grid minusing 256. The next thing you want to determine is what margin do you want? What margin do you want? By margin, I simply means the space you want to leave between the contents and this particular guy. So if this is 32, if you want to use 32, okay, I can set this to 32. You can use 32 and 32 right here, okay? So let's go ahead and then align that there. So let me go ahead and create this grid. Remember, this is what? 256. We can see it here. All I need to do is to select this frame, and I go to layout grid, and then I want to choose column grid, right? And let's go in here and say we want 12, okay? So we want 12, and this is where you want to arrange things properly. So from here, the margin, let's go ahead. Okay, first off, let me go ahead and choose left. Let it start from the left hand side. Okay, let's go ahead and choose offset, or should we use center? Let's use left. Let's go ahead and choose offset. Offset simply means the distance you want to minus, like the shifting. So shifting is 256, which we got from knowing the width of the what's it called, the width of the sidebar. Now it's now asking us to enter the width we want. How do we know the width we want? Is by first of all knowing the gutter size. So for the gutter, we are also going to use 32 because this is a big screen. We're going to be using 32 for the gutter. So let's go ahead and do some simple calculations. You can do tumbo and get it, but we really want to make sure everything is correct. Okay, so for the gutter, we want about 32 there. Okay, so I think for this offset, I'm going to increase it. For this offset, I'm going to increase it. Remember, we said we want 32 px around them. Okay, 32 px around them. So I'm going to add this empty space. So this number plus 32, that will give me my offset. Okay, this number plus, I can just type it directly, plus 32. That will give me my offset. You can see where the grid is starting from now. Good. So we want to make sure this grid stops here as well, but we might not achieve it with one grid. So let's take a look at how to do that. To actually calculate this, okay, to actually calculate this, what we can do is to come in here and check the size of what we have remaining. So if I draw a box here, okay, let me zoom in. If I draw a box up to this point, okay, now see how I'm doing this calculation so you can learn from it. I'm just trying to get my grade, okay? Drop it at this point. Now what we have left is 1120, okay? Let's do 1120 divided by 12, okay? Because we want 12 grid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Are you getting it? 1120 divided by 12. Now, this will give us the size of one grid, okay? The size of one column. But remember, for each column, there is a 32 pixel padding. So we might want to remove those, we might want to account for those as well. So let's just do 32 might give us 16, 16 of each. So let's go ahead and do this minus that minus 16. So we are left with 77.33. So you can see why I told you sometimes you might have some extra grids, okay? 77.33. So let me come in here. And for those of you that hate math, don't worry, this is not something serious. So we have 77.33, but now we need to account for this other guy, okay? We need to account for this other guy. So let me just go ahead and make it 78. I want this to be somewhere here, okay? I want this to be somewhere here. I want to see the whole 12 grids. So let's see. We might have to use double. Let me see 60. With that, okay, someone is trying to come in. Okay. So let me just use this 76. Let's use 76 here. Let's use 76. 1, 2. So what we have here is 32. Let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10. That's 320. So let me bring this back. Let me bring this back. Let's do it this way. 10, that is 320, okay? So this number minus 320, okay, divided by 12. That will give us, I said, so 66. So approximately this is about 67 thereabouts. Let me just bring it out here. So let's go in and let's do 67. Okay, so we have it there. We have our 12 grid right here. Then for this particular one, we can just use a soft grid. Go to your view. Go to view. You have what do we have? Where is it? I'm supposed to be on view. And let me activate this. So let me do this here. And also let me draw this here. Okay. Let me explain again. Okay. I'm trying to get a grid, our grid. Okay. I'm trying to get our grid right here. Now, to get our grid, okay, to get our grid, if you don't want to use grid, you can use soft grid, okay? But the grid is just to help us with the sizes. Let's know where things stop and where things end. So let me come here. This is what we have. Remember, if we wanted to add our grid here, we would have just gone to layout grid and add our column grid, right? And then select 12, stretch, and then add our margin and gutter. That is what we normally do. But the issue with this one now is we already have our sidebar here. We have our sidebar here. And if we should say we want to do 12 column grid, some of them will be on the sidebar, which won't balance. So what we need to do is, in order to create our grid, we want to take notes of this size, the size of the sidebar, and subtract it first. Okay, we want to subtract it first from the entire available width for our design. We want to first subtract it, so we can then use the remaining part to create our 12 grid column. So what we now did was we said, okay, what is the size of this? It is 256. Now, if your sidebar is bigger or smaller, you take note of that. Okay, it is 256. Now we need 32px. We need 32px margin because we don't want our content. Okay, we don't want our content to start at the edge. We need a little bit of spacing, and we agreed. We said, okay, we need 32. That means the spacing we need is between here and here. Okay, it's between here and here. Okay, let me just use a simpler approach. The spacing we need is between here and here. Okay, so I duplicated this. Okay, I duplicated this and aligned it to this part as well. That means whatever it is we are going to be designing is going to be inside here. Okay, inside here. Now I got a frame. I can get a frame now to design. Okay, so let's just use this approach. Let me use this frame now to come in here. So 32px also here. Let me zoom in. Okay, let me give this frame a color first. Let's go with white. Okay, let's go with white for it. So this will be the frame for our design. Let me also select this and Control D. I want to bring it to the bottom so that I'll know where it's going to stop for now. Align bottom. So I think if I use this approach, you guys will understand it better. So let's drop this here. Sorry, let me zoom in. You can see some of you, when you are designing, you don't zoom in to get the details of what you are doing. Always make sure you zoom in from time to time. So now we have this here. So this can serve as our content. So let me go ahead and just remove this. So we can use this as the container for designing our content. And we can just raise this up. We don't have a sidebar yet. So when we have a sidebar, we can determine the height of the sidebar, then take cognizance of that. But for now, I'm just going to add my 12 column grid right here. So I think that approach should be easier for you guys. So select this one and choose your 12 column grid. Okay, 12 column grid. And let's go ahead and just do 12. Okay, and the gutter, we say we are also using 32. So for now, we're not going to be adding any margin because we've already included the margin with this column. So now what I want to do is to use my soft grid to identify this here. Okay, and also drag this to this bottom here. This is just a guide to help us with our design. Okay, so let's go ahead and call this main container. So this will be our main container. We can go ahead and curve it a little bit. Let's use 24. Yes, the lines are called soft grid. Okay, that's if you these ones you drag from the ruler, you call them soft grid. But these ones you add from the layout, it's not soft grid. Okay, it's your main grid. So let me just hide this and see. Wait, let me hide this. At this point, I can delete. At this point, I can delete these soft boxes. These boxes I've been using. Okay, I can delete it. So this is my design, and this is where my content will be. So if I want, I can put any other thing at the top there. Okay, so let's proceed now with what we wanted to do. Remember, this is what we wanted to do here. So let's go ahead and start designing this. Okay, we want a place to say upload. I can just come here. Okay, since it's a little bit closer, let's do upload photo to find a match. Okay, we can just say please upload your photo. Please
You never
Upload
mind.
your photo.
Huh? I think it's not bad.
I think it's from the person's end. I can't see anyone trying to join here. Okay, it's from the person's end. Please upload your photo. So please upload your photo. Okay.
I've just been saying that. I know, honestly, I know.
Okay. Please upload your photo. And remember, we're using this as inspiration. Please upload your photo. And we're just going to increase this. So we're going to increase this from our text. So for things like this, you want to use like H3, H4, or anything below 32. Okay. Anything below 32 for subheadings like this. So I'm going to select this and look for a number around that kind 32 for our, from our font style. So it's around H3. So H3, and I'm going to use semi bold. Okay. So we have it here. H3 semi-bold. Okay. This 32 is quite much. Let's try 24. You want to go through the fonts. So we have H4. Okay, no, want to go around. Okay, so let's use H5. Okay, H5 semi-bold. H5 semi-bold. Please upload your photo, and where you have upload your photo, remember we said we are going to have two options here. Okay, we are going to have two options here. One we say photo and the other one we say upload, just something like this. Now these are called button group. Okay, so let's come to assets. Let's see if we have anyone here. If we don't have, we design it. Okay, so let me click, and okay, we have it. So let's click here, and we have it here. Okay, we have two already. So I'm just going to remove one and two. We only need two. So here we are going to remove the icon. We don't want any icon here. We don't also want an icon here. Okay, so you can see the advantage of the design system. You can always, oh, I deleted the last one, so I'm just going to select this and see how they styled it. Okay, don't worry, let me bring it back. Let me bring them back. I mistakenly deleted the last one with the curve. Okay, so I don't want this. I also don't want the middle one either. So I want these two. Okay, so I'm just going to select this one, remove it, and for the states, I'm going to use yes, default. Also, this one, I'm going to remove the icon. Now, remember, if you're not using a design system, you want to go ahead and design it out. So for the state, this is going to be the active one. So the state is going to be pressed. Okay, that's going to be like the active one, and then you can have this one. So I'm going to select this. The next thing I want to have is this field. Okay, this field here. So for that field, the content says, let me select this. The content says drag and drop video file to upload. So I'm just going to say drag photo, drag and drop file image to upload. Of course, we are not using video, okay? Except we want to add a feature for video, but we don't want to add that now because we didn't talk about it. So drag and drop image to upload. Now, there's something they wrote here. Your video will be private until you publish to your profile. Okay, so we don't really have any type of contest on that one. So we don't have such contest. So we just leave it. But notice something. That's why I said you want this inspiration. Notice something here. Between this and this, you can see a difference in font size. Remember, we are designing this as if we've never done design before, because at this stage, that is how you want to start. So looking at this, I can see there is what a difference in font size. So that would now tell me, okay, because this is more important. And if you arrange these things from level, This is the higher one, followed by this one. So for this one, I'm now going to look for size 20. So let me scroll down. Since I used 24 there, I might want to do size 20. So we're using size 20 semi-bold. Let's go ahead and say size 20 semi-bold. Good. And must I use this? No, we can always change it later. But for now, let's go ahead and use this. And inside here, I'm going to have like an icon, okay? Icon for file upload. So I come back here and I search for file upload. Okay, so I'm likely going to see some icons here. Okay, so let's use this one. Let me click and let me insert it. Okay, you can also see that. So this icon here, if I don't want this icon, now see what I can do. Okay, I can actually go to free pick. Let me just right click here and choose a new Chrome. Okay, so I can actually, let me bring this here. Where is it? Okay, so I can actually go to free pick. Now, this is what will differentiate some people's design from other designers. Now, for most designers, they might just come and use an icon like this, okay? Some other people could go to free pick or any other resource site and go to icons, explore icons, okay? I'm showing you the steps you can use to elevate your design. I can come here and do something like 3D upload icon. If I want to give it that 3D kind of feel, you can see right here, I can see different type of nice looking icons compared to that boring one. Okay, but it's left for you. If this is the kind of feel you want it to have, you come here and choose an icon that looks better. Okay, here I can say, okay, let's just do something. Now remember, as you are choosing, you want to choose something close to your design. Okay, for me, I might want to pick this style. I might want to go this style. Okay, but for you, you might want to explore more. So let's try this one. Instead of just this thing, I can just come here and say copy SVG. Okay, now if you don't have access to free pick premium, you just have to save as PNG. But if you have access, you copy as PNG. Okay, so with that done, I can come back to my design, to my Figma, and just paste it. I see it. Then I hit K to scale it down. It's about 512, and I want to do 75. Okay, let's do 50. Now, someone will ask, how do I know the size? Like now, I just said 75, and I said, let's do 50. Well, it depends on your real estate. Okay, by the time I go back, if I place it there and it's taking so much space, I'll change it. Now, see the style they used for this and the button. So remember, I'm using this as a reference, but you can see my design does not necessarily look like that, right? And already you know the reason why it's not looking like that. So the next thing, we have to add an icon there that says select file. First of all, let me click on this one. And let's call this one file upload. Upload. Let's say file upload. File upload. Should we say file upload? Okay, upload. File upload. Okay. And then this one, we can just say take a selfie. Okay, so now we have this option here. And the next thing we need is a button. So let's go ahead and do button. Okay, so we have button here. We have our button right here. We just drag it in. And this button, you can see, take a look again. These buttons, they are not like the main button. They are like the secondary or even tertiary buttons. If you take a look at this design, you can see the main buttons, they are a little bit bigger. So main buttons are usually bigger than in-app or in-feature buttons, buttons you want to use inside. So these are the patterns you begin to observe when you begin to do your design research and you begin to take note of them. So when you have extra icons like these pop-ups, their buttons are going to be a little bit smaller than the main buttons. Okay, so these are like that time that I've told you, you now know it. That's how it works. But if you don't do your design research much, you might mix some certain patterns. Okay, that's why if you want to delete something, that button they would use and ask you to confirm you want to delete is always a little bit what smaller. Okay, so let's select this. And for this one, I'm going to go to size and I'm going to choose small. Okay, I'm going to choose small. I don't want all the icons. I don't want the icons. Okay, and also the type, I'm going to choose outline. Okay, so I'm going to choose outline. So I'm going to say change this to what? Select file. Okay, so we have this guy here. So let me duplicate this button because I'll still need it. So now I want to create like this field. Okay, I want to create that field. So I'm going to select 1, 2, 3, which is what? 1, 2, and 3. Okay, Shift A. By the way, let me go ahead and start coloring. Of course, it's not going to be white because we have the white background. So let's come in here. Remember, I'm not choosing color from here. I'm choosing from our design system. So for our body, we might want to use something around what? 700 or 800. Let's try 800. Okay, same thing here. We want to go ahead and choose that is the neutral 800. That's what we use for our body. Okay, now let's select this. Now the next thing we want to do is to have another one that says cancel and then upload. Okay, cancel and upload. So let's come in here, cancel and upload. Okay, so let's do cancel and then let's also do upload. But this upload, we want to change the upload. We want to change the upload back to a primary button. Now let's select everything now and add it into a container because you can see we want to do this container now. So let's go ahead and do Shift A, and I'm just going to give it a color. Okay, if we want to mimic this, you can see that this is like a gradient color. Okay, but let's just go ahead and do something nice. Let's go ahead and give it a white kind of color, and we might want to also come to the stroke. For the stroke, we want to like give it like maybe this 200. Okay, and let's go and add some paddings. Let's do 24 here and 24. If 24 is not okay, you can always use this one to check. Okay, you can see the amount of space they give. That's how you learn. Then let's go ahead and curve it to about 24. Okay, now let's select this one. Let's start sizing things up. Let's select this one. Let me select this first, and I want to make sure everything is properly aligned. Okay, it should be this way. Okay. Oh, I forgot. I didn't even arrange this two. So I'm going to select 1, 2. I'm going to do Shift A because they should be on the same pattern. So I'm going to just fill container, space between. Okay. Select this one too, fill container. Okay, select this one too and do fill container. But this time around, for this one, I also want to add like some padding. So let's go with 16 and 16. Okay, then want to add that outline. So for the stroke, I select here, choose the color, maybe about 300. And I want to also add like a curve there, like 12. But the outline, I want it to be dotted lines instead of solid. So I come here and I choose dash. Now you can see how we quickly designed this. So I select this now. The space between is quite much. I can do 16. Okay. So I can do 16. 16 is looking a little bit less. Okay, you can see they also use center alignment. So I'll select this and then I'll align my own center as well. So I think 16 is a little bit choking. Let me see. Maybe I can actually select these ones, 1, 2, and add in an auto frame again, so that I can now increase the spacing between these two. Okay, 24. Okay, great. So now we have our upload. So let me bring it right inside here and test. Okay, so right inside here. So you always want to test your designs. So we now have something that comes up when you want to upload an image. So anytime you click on upload, this will come up and, oh, sorry, this is supposed to be centered. Okay. Let's select the text and also center it here. So these are things you don't want to miss. Now you can see how I quickly designed this particular element. So let me select this. Okay. So this is our element right now. We can now go ahead and move to the next screen. Okay. If I wanted to, if this was a full project, what I can also do is to convert this to a component. Okay. So let's just be a little bit realistic. Let's come in here. Now let's duplicate this. Let's duplicate it because we have two options: file upload and take a selfie. Okay. So for take a selfie now, I will come back here, change this one to what? What is the state? Change this one to, oops, what is the state? So where's the state? Pressed. I'll change it to default and then change this one to pressed. Okay. To pressed. And I want to go ahead and change this icon. So let me bring back the big guy. So from here, 3D camera icon. Okay, so you can even ignore the icon because we're already on icon. So let's take a look at 3D here, the camera. Okay, so we want to make sure we use something close to our color scheme. But since if you are copying SVG, you can always, change the color if you want. So let's look for, let's do webcam. Let me see webcam to give them more webcam. Okay. Let me use something a little bit close to what we used. Okay, something like this. This doesn't look like a webcam almost. Let's just now sometimes choosing these things might take time, but I don't have much time, so I'll just go ahead and copy this one. Okay, let me copy that one. Okay, it says copied. So let's come in here and let's replace this guy. So let me paste it here. And remember the size we used. I'm going to hit K. And we're going to use 50 as well. So come in. Oops, cut. It should be inside this one. Paste. Up you go. Delete this one. Good. So we have this now. And I think there's something clashing here. This select file cancel is clashing. I hope you guys can see it. Now, what I can do is to now check how did they solve this problem on this our own. So you can see on this one, what they did to solve the problem was to make them a little bit dimmer. Okay. So let's do the same thing because I think they are too clashy. So to save time, I'm going to select them very fast. Now hold down my control key, hold down my shift key and control key. Okay, let me just select this one. I think they are too far from each other. Hold down my control key, select. It's not working. So let me just select this. Okay. You can see the primary color there. We can go and choose one of our grays. That's neutral. So we can use neutral 300. Okay. Neutral 300. Oops, it's looking very faint. So you always want to test it out first. Neutral, okay, good. Neutral 500 is working. So I'm going to select this. Let's do neutral 400. I think 500 is too simi. Now, another question most people ask is, how do I know if it is too much or too little? It takes experience, it takes that practice, okay? But we want to make sure things are not clashing. That's why we're doing this. So let's select this one too. You can see that it actually looks better now. So remember, we're going with neutral 400. Okay. Oops. Neutral 400. Here to neutral 400. Okay. So instead of me to suffer this problem again now, I think it's faster I just copy this icon, okay, and duplicate this and paste it than selecting those things and say neutral 400 or rest. So I come in here, paste, move it up, delete this one. Good. Now, another thing I could do, if I want it to have this color exactly, I can still select it. Since it's an SVG, I can come here. Okay, let me do this. Let me copy. Okay, no gradient here, nothing. Let me just leave it like this. Okay, let me leave it like this. So these are the two options we have. file upload and take a selfie. Okay, so here, file upload, we change the state back to default, and this one changes to what? Pressed. Okay, this is just the only quick interaction we are going to do. Okay, so I can select, if you want to make your own look very different, we can now select these two. Okay, we can actually select these two and then set them to fill container. Fill container, select this one too, and say fill container. Okay, then we can select them and do space between. Instead of auto, we can do 40. Okay, so let's do a quick vote. Which one do you prefer, this one or this one? Quick vote. You can drop it in the comment section. Okay, that's the first one. Okay, let's do repeat. Okay, let's do the same thing here then. So anytime you are designing, you also want to, test things out. That's what you call iterations. You test things out, and you can always put things side by side, just oppose them and see which one is good. If you're unable to make that judgment, you can just call someone to help you check them out. Okay, so now we have these two. This is for file upload, this or take a selfie. We can select the two of them now and go to our create create component sets. Okay, we can now call this image upload. Okay, image upload. Now let me copy one of these out first. Let me copy it out so it doesn't, so we can still use it for something else. Let me just put it here. Okay. Oh God. Sorry, before I convert to component, I just want to copy one out. Okay. Okay, so let me select the two of them, and I'm going to call it file component set. So I'm going to call it image upload. Now let's create the variant. This one is what? This variant is what? Let's use, instead of property one, let's say type. This is what? File upload. And this one is what? Selfie. Okay. Now we can now go to our prototype and then prototype this icon. Okay, so when they click on you, come to change to this one. And for this, we just want to go ahead and use instant. Okay, instant, it should just change. And for this guy, when you are here, if you click on file upload, it should come back here instant as well. We are not going to, okay, let's just reset component states. Okay, let's activate these things. This will make sure that anytime you start the prototype again, it remembers the beginning of this, so it can reset and also reset component states. So now we can now bring this inside our design. Okay, so we can now bring this inside our design. Remember, we said it's going to be like a pop-up. So I'm just going to come back to design, and I'm going to just bring it in. So what did we call it? Image upload. So let's come here and look for local components. This is it here, image upload. Okay, so I can drop this here as image upload. Okay, so let's come and create our primary button here. So somewhere here, we are likely going to have a button. Okay, assets button. We're going to have a button. So let that button come in here. And we're going to upload image. Okay. So we don't want these icons. So I'm going to off the two of them. So this is the screen where you get to upload image. Let's just put this one here first. So I just want to show you a quick prototype. Okay. Or let's add an icon. Let's add left icon. Okay, so for this icon, let's just use a camera. Okay, camera. Let's use this outline. Okay, and let's also change the color to white. So on this app, when you come and you click on upload image, it should launch this guy. Okay, so I'm just going to move these things away a little bit because it's a pop-up. So except you are doing mock-up, then you can now place it on top. But we're not doing mock-ups, we are doing the real design. So let me just select these things and move them down a little bit. No, it's only when they are in the same, when they are used in the same context. So this one is a little bit different. But here, we want to maintain that as kind of shiny color, okay? So let me go ahead and now prototype this. So I can say if you click on this upload image, it should bring up this guy. But then it will bring up this guy as what? A, where is it? Okay, sorry. I think I want to add this in, I want to add this in a frame first. Let me come back to design. Let's add this inside the frame. So right click, frame selection. Okay, so we're going to call this image upload. Okay, so from here, you want to add that interaction to this guy. Okay, so here, image upload, we want to open overlay. Okay, open overlay. And when you open overlay, it should be at the center. Okay, we want to add it in a, it was just an asset I dragged and dropped. Okay, it wasn't in a, it was just an asset I dragged and dropped. So it makes sense to add it in a frame. So we can even name the frame so that it's not looking like an instance. It's not just an instance. Okay, it's not anything serious. So centered here, let's add a background. Yes, about 25%. And if we want, we can even make the background blur if we want. Okay. Yes. Close when clicked outside. Okay. And then we can just come in here and test this out. So let's go ahead and test this one. Okay. Let's come in here and test this. Preview. Now make sure you rewatch and then duplicate these designs. We still have like an hour to go. But I took time to explain this so you understand how I came up with this idea, especially if you are just starting. That is what I'm actually pointing at. How I came up with the idea, because one of the issues most people face is that they keep watching these tutorials. They don't know how to come up with these ideas as a first-time designer. Okay. The most important thing is if you already know what you want, it's easier. But see, if you don't know what you want, don't say you want to go and do visual research. Okay, so let's click this and see. So we click and this appears. You can see it added the background. So file upload, you can select file. What if you want to take a selfie? It changes to this one. You can see that interaction is working clearly right there. And I think in this our design, we forgot to add the small close icon. But thank God we set this towards. We also have cancel here. And I'm also looking at this design now. I can actually see that the space between this and this is quite cranky. Who agrees with me? The space between here and this cancel and upload button. Anybody agrees with me? Right? So you can see that as you are designing, you are still looking at your design. You are always looking at your design. Are we together? So let me close this now. Let me just let's come back here. Let me just reduce this. So you can always open this preview by the side. Okay. So let's go back to our main components. I'm going to select that auto layout that we used in holding the two of them and increase it up to 32. Okay, I think there's enough space now. 32. And notice that I'm still maintaining our spacing guide, okay? 32. So let's come back and test our design again. So I can make this wide. Okay, so upload. Oh, yes. So we can easily take a selfie, you know. Here we made a mistake. Our copy, okay, our copy right here is still saying drag and upload, drag and drop image to upload, which is wrong. So we want to say click to record. Okay, so we want to say click to record. We can always work on the rights, the UX writing later. I'm just trying to be a little bit faster. So click to launch camera. Okay, so here we can now say take a photo instead of select file. Open camera. Okay, let's make a click to take a picture. Remember, UX, part of UX is communication. Click to take a photo. Okay, it's communication. This is what we mean by communication. You need to be able to communicate, let people understand what you mean. Okay, so let's come back here, upload, and there, yes, okay, it has changed. Awesome. So we have this one settled out. Now you can see that what we have there doesn't look anything like what we have initially during our block framing. Okay, so let me go ahead, and I'm also thinking, what if we use 18 instead of 20? It's looking like they are just too big. So let's go in and look for 18. Okay, 18. This is bold. We are looking for semi-bold. Semi-bold. Okay, I think I really like the 18. The main thing is you should follow the rhythm, and since we are using this now, I'll start taking note of it, and as I'm taking note of it, I'll make sure that I apply it on all the places we'll be designing. Okay, so we have this done. So right now we can categorically say that our photo upload button is done. Remember, we are still coming back here to do our we are still coming back here to do our, sorry, that hug, the hug don't come out. Okay, it's the frame that we added. Okay, so don't forget, we'll still come back to design. Okay, now if the person uploads an image, we need to now show when it's processing, right? You can add that screen. For now, you can add that screen. Okay, you can add that screen if you want. If you don't want to add it, you can basically skip it. So that's why I said we needed to duplicate this. So let's go ahead and choose. So I'm going to call this loading screen. So I'm still going to duplicate this. So immediately the person clicks on upload. Okay, we need to show that it is what uploading. Now you can decide to make it still on this interface or on the same interface. So we're going to make it on that interface. Okay, so how do we do our loading screen? So for our loading screen, let me go ahead and also add this in a frame. So frame selection. Okay, loading screen. Okay, so there's something I'll show you now, a new prototype technique I will show you. Now, whether the person click on file upload or take a selfie, we are going to assume the person clicked on took a selfie. So after taking the selfie, what we can just do is to come in here. Let's draw a rectangle inside here. Okay, we're going to just do absolute position. So we're going to draw a rectangle, and that rectangle might just want to, we might just want it to blur things out a little bit. Okay, so it's going to blur things out a little bit. Now this is our loading screen. Let's click on clip contents. Okay, let's click on clip contents, and what's the size we used here? For it is to be 24. Okay, so let me come back to layers so I can actually see what I'm doing, because there's that rectangle now. It might be difficult for me to pick it. Okay, where is that rectangle? Where is that rectangle? Where is the rectangle? Okay, this is it here. Okay, we can just call it blur. So we can now use any color of our choice. If you want, we could use this our dark theme, the 900. Okay, the 900, but I'm going to remove it and reduce the opacity to like 10. Oh, 10 is too much. Let me see, 50. Let me stick with 20. But we are going to add an effect. Okay, effect, and I'm going to go with background blur. So I'm going to blur it up to like 15. Okay, here. I don't know how I feel about this. Let me use 8. Okay, and let me even try color white. Okay, now I can come in here back to assets and choose and type in loading. Let's see if we have that component there. So we have loading. We have loading. What do they call it? We should have it. I think they called it something else. Progress. Let's try progress. We should have something. Okay, progress bar. We have progress bar. So you can choose this one, whichever one you want. So let's use progress bar. Let's try this. Okay, insert. Okay, so this is it. Let me properly center it. Let me put it inside this frame. So paste, center it appropriately. And I don't need some of these things. It should show percentage. It should show description. Okay. Let's do uploading your photo. Uploading your photo. Okay. So we can now use here to start showing. Do you want to show any icon? Because of time, I'm just going to show large. Let's use a smaller one, medium. Let's use medium, and let's use let's just show in progress about 60%. Okay, let's just show about 60%. Now show status icon. No, we don't want it. Okay, progress bar level. Okay, should we show the percentage? Let me just remove this. I think people will just understand it. But if we want, we can actually show this. So let me also click on what center. I want to also use center alignment for this text. Center alignment. Now, this is what I want to show you. You see this guy? I can also convert it to a component and do what you call instance swapping. So loading screen, I will convert this, and then Control D, this is instance, okay? Then drop this here. It is part of our design. I think I'm going to try black here instead of white. Let me make sure I'm selecting the right guy. So let me scroll down. That's that blur effect. This blur effect. Let me try black. Let me also try another color at about 20%. Let me try neutral 900. Okay, but about let's see. 50%. Nope. 80%. Okay. 85. 16 blur. Okay, let me reduce this. Let me take this back to 100. Let me do 85, 50. I really don't know how I feel about this particular one. So sometimes you just have to keep testing like this till you see what works. So because we are using something a little bit dark, we might want to. I really don't like this dark one. I prefer the light one. I actually prefer this. So let me go ahead and change this color to white. Now, sometimes if you are designing, you might prefer something. The next time you wake up in the morning, you decide to change your mind. So it's very valid, okay? So don't over attach yourself to your design. Now, all I want to do is I can decide to also, okay, so this is my loading. So let's come to this loading and do some prototype. So if I click on upload, it should come here and on click, okay. So you can see where we have swap. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, swap overlay. Okay, it's just going to swap. Then let's click on it here, swap overlay. Okay, instead of after click, we are going to say after some. Okay, let's just do it instantly on click. Okay, on click, sorry, on click, it should what? Swap overlay to this particular guy. Yes, we still want to reset all these things. Okay, now let's try it out. Okay, let's try it out. Hope it worked. Sorry, I added so many interactions. So let me redo that again. Okay, on click, swap overlay. Yes, so it should swap to this particular one. Now let's see that how that pans out. Okay, so let's just preview it here. Click, and when you click upload, it switches to this. Okay, so do you see how we're able to switch? So once it uploads, it will now take us to that screen that will show us the picture that the person have uploaded, and then we can now click on find match, right? So you can see how we are designing this screen after screen. Okay, so here is going to be our image uploaded screen. So once you've uploaded your image, let's go back to design. Once you've uploaded your image, this place is supposed to say, okay, so here is your image and you can now find match. Okay, so how do we come about this page? How do we design this page? Already we know that on this page, what did you add? You added your image. Okay, you added your image. And if you've added your image, you need to now click on what? Find my doppelganger, and the system will now start matching all these things. So how do we design this page? What are the contents we need on this page? We simply need an image and a button that says find my doppelganger. Now you can be very creative about this particular page. You can be very creative about it, or you can just go with something simple. And for now, again, we are going to likely going with something simple. But let's take a look at some ideas. Let's see this one. Okay, this one is already upload. Okay, we can use this as an inspiration for our empty state. But let me close this first. Let me close this. Now, let me also close this one. Let's just let's look for image comparison screen. Okay, let's see image comparison screen. image comparison. Now, sometimes you must not gain inspiration from dribble. Sometimes if you visit some websites, you might even get inspirations. Okay. Image comparison screen. Wait a minute. This. Oh, I like this. Oh, but it's also a pop-up. Eh, uh, but this one, we can actually do this one on our own. Okay, let's open this up. I can see that there is an image here. That's why I clicked on it. Let me see how they did that one. Okay, so you can see nice inspirations. That's okay. Awesome. Matter don't finish now. Do you see this one? So all I need to do is to design something like this, have our main image here, right? And then have our own AI here, telling the person we are waiting. If the person now click on find my doppelganger, the image, if we see the result, the person appears here. What do you think of that idea? You can see where I got the inspiration from. I see it. So why I'm showing you guys this is so that you design realistically based on your stage. Okay. If you still go down, again, I told you something about divergent thinking. As you are looking at this, please and please, except if you are doing research for color, then you are looking at colors. Okay. If you are doing research for font, then you should be looking at font. This font, I like this font. But if you are doing research for layout pattern, make sure as you are looking at the layouts, you are imagining it and placing your own content inside. Most of your OGs won't tell you this, but as a beginner, that is how you want to start so that your design can look good. Remember, when you are designing alone, you might not have someone to be telling you, do this until you are done. So this is the only way you can be checkmating yourself. Okay. Let's go ahead and see if we can find another one. But I think because of time, let's just go with this. Oh, their own is even AI image generation service. Interesting. Okay. Now you can see all this thing. And just this thing make us carry on. Hey, well, on a video. So since it's a video, it will not stop our shine. Let's go ahead and take a screenshot. Let's take a screenshot of the selected area. Should we select everything? Okay, let's just select everything. Now, the good thing is that if you've done something like this, once you don't do something like this, you don't sabi and be say you don't sabi. You can even implement it in other other designs. And when they see it, when you post it online, they say, this guy bad. Now only this person don't do this kind of thing. The answer is no. You see this kind of patterns in a lot of places. If you go to all these NFTs websites, you see these patterns. Are you getting it? Yes. So this first image will be, and here will just be like an abstract finding our so that when the person clicks on find our doppelganger. Now, as I'm looking at this thing, I'm already imagining the way it's going to work, which is what UI UX is all about, product design is all about. What I'm already imagining here is once you upload it, this is your own here, and this might just be an image, an abstract image, and there will be a button here said find your doppelganger. Once you click on it, this place starts sifting through different pictures, like the interaction, different pictures to don't change it, and then when you just find your match, bam, the person appears. Now, I'm just teaching you guys how creativity is. One person's design can influence your own creativity. So creativity is not this thing that is waiting for you, right? That's why we did that course on creativity. It's not this thing that is waiting for you somewhere. It comes as you are working. As you are designing, you are going to be thinking. Don't just do, I can write 23 here. That's how I go do my own. Be asking yourself, how can we do this? By the time assuming we do that, if we eventually prototype this and then do that interaction, even the person that did this design we got this inspiration from will be like, wow, this is lovely. But you can see where we got that inspiration from. But is it the same thing they did? The answer is no. We carried the papa and we made our own daddy or zaddy or whatever you want to call it. So let me come here. You can see how I also got that inspiration. But remember, before you get inspiration, you need to know what you are trying to do. You need to know what you're trying to do. Okay, so we are going to have our image here, and then this other image, then we are going to have this other one. Now, for this kind of designs, we are obviously going to be using shapes. Okay, we are obviously going to be using shapes. We won't be using frame, because if you see this whole punch here, okay, you see this whole punch, it is, you can only achieve it with shapes and not frame. Okay, so how do we achieve this whole punch? Here, then we can do the frames. So let's go ahead and get let me just lock and then hide this. Okay, let me bring it closer to what we have. Oops, it has entered inside the frame. Now that is why we were trying to show you that time. You need to, as you were doing spending, you were replicating design. So that's why you want to know how to replicate a lot of design. So let's go ahead and start this. So first, we need our big frame there. So we can just do something like this. Or let me be very realistic. The way I would work, I would open that main container, okay, and then I would also want to show the grid. Okay, so I can work on this grid. I can work with this grid. So for this grid now, I can say this thing should be on 6. It should be on 6 grids. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But on should we use 6 or 8? I think let's try 8. Let's center it. Okay, sorry, I want to center it this way. Now, why I'm trying to use 8, let's try 7. It's just too wide. If we use 6, okay, let's use 6. 6 is fine. If we use 6, we have our spacing here, spacing here. Okay, good. So let me center this well. Sorry, let me place it inside the frame itself. It's not inside the frame. Okay, center it well. Okay, so it has like a corner radius. Okay, so let's go there and make the corner radius 24. Now, the next thing, we have our picture. Okay, we have our picture, Now, this is what I want us to do for our picture. Now, you can see they have like abstract nature. Nothing concern us, concern putting something like this. Okay, so no need to even include this. We just want to have this, except we want to attract, except we want to say something like your doppelganger. But will it improve the experience? I really don't know. But let's just work with the main thing we have here. So we are going to have our 2 images here. So our 2 images will live here, right here. This will be it. So we have 32 here. So let's go ahead and increase this to here and increase this to here. I just want to add that margin. So this will be our image. First one here. Okay, image, your image. Okay, now I'm also cross-checking myself. Okay, it has a curve. Then I go ahead and curve it. 24. Let's give it a fill first. Okay, let's leave the fill. So I'm going to select this white one and remove the fill first. The color, I want to go ahead and just remove it first. Okay, I want to go ahead and remove it first. Then this guy, I'm going to give this guy color white, as you can see. Okay, now I have this and I have this. So this will be our image. Also want to make sure it is 32 so that it makes sense. So let's measure, let's select it. We can use a box and then just make 32. So these are things you do sometimes when designing. Okay, 32. Although I've drawn this box before, I should have just used it, but I don't have time. So I'll just bring it at the top and increase this to stop there. Okay, So also come in here and increase this to just drop here. You can see how I got that. Now I can remove this. I'm done with it. I can even delete it, except I need it again. Now we have this, duplicate this, okay? Duplicate this and drop this here. So we have that 2 images. So how do we make this dent? How do we make these dents? So it's quite easy to do. So you can just draw, depending on how you want the dent to be. The way this one looks like, you can see it's a circle kind of. So depending on the dent you want. If we don't want to make circle kind of, we can also make another type of dent if we want. Okay. So let's go here. Let's get, so you can see as you are doing this now, what I want you guys to do is this. As you are learning, when you are working on your project, let's assume you got this inspiration and you don't know how to do it. You can now reach out on the group and share a screenshot and say, how can I achieve this? You learn that way. Okay, don't see a design and you don't know how to do it and be like, oh no, my first where I feel my hand reach. No, don't do that. Immediately you see it and you really like it and you would want to learn how to do it, you send a DM on that. You send it, you can send a voice note with a screenshot and say, please, how do I achieve something like this? I will answer, or someone else will answer. There are people that have more experience even in that design group, right? They can answer and you learn. So I'm going to pick this. What I don't want you to do is to come and ask me, what should I do? I cannot answer that question. That question, ask God. Because in this design of a thing, it's all about your solution. If I give you solution, then we are not doing anything actually. So you can see the dent is already here. And I'm going to select these two. And I'm going to introduce you to something called Boolean properties. Okay. No, dent no be design language. Not just English. Dent like something just a punch, a puncture. You know. Now English I they try speak like this. So I'm going to make sure I align this well. So how do I know where to align this? For me basically I can use my graphic design eye, but this is something what most people will do as well. They'll bring this here and they'll hold down Alt and measure it to this point. You see this is 8, right? So they bring it back to the center. Okay, oops. Now I want another one at the bottom. Now how do I know it's also at the right place? I can shift it like this, and I'm showing you technique now, and you can see it's 4, so I want to move it to 8, then I center. These are techniques that you might not probably know that will be confusing. You'll be like, how can I make this work? Now I'm going to select this and select this, and we're going to go to this Boolean property. I want to do subtraction. You see what happened there? I select this and I select this. We are going to do what? Subtraction. You see what we have now? Those other guys went to the back, so don't worry. We can always come to the layer and bring it back to the top. But this our dent is purely okay. There's something called Boolean property. Let me explain the Boolean property. So this is a little bit advanced. That's why it's good to do project. You start learning. So it works with basic shapes. So let's say we have 2 shapes here. Let's say we have this 2 circle here. Okay. And another circle here. Now watch. If I want to join these two, let's say I want to make like a crescent moon. If I want to create like a crescent moon, do you know that if I bring this one inside here like this, and I make this color the same color of this background, I have a crescent moon. Okay. But this one now is just like you shooting yourself in the leg. because if someone comes in here and add a white or any background to this your frame, yawa don boss. Now they've catch you. I get it. So what you want to do instead, what you want to do instead is to, use these Boolean properties to create like a hole punch. So if I select these two now, if I select this one and if I select the two of them, what I can do is to come to these Boolean properties and I'll say subtract this from this. Now it has subtracted it, but it's still there. Oh, it's still there. If you go to the layer, you can see subtract there. So you can see that guy, right? You can see that guy. The more you move it away, the crescent moon go down, the turn full moon. At a point, it will look like Pokemon Go. But you see, so you can use this to create different shapes. So it's not only subtract that you use. You also have this other one. So let me just drag them outside and the subtract goes away. Let me drag them outside. Let me show you on that one. You have this one, like if you want to create like a meatball, if you want to create like a meatball, you can have three, okay? Three of this, a meatball. We can have three of this. I'm not really going to make it like align now. I select one, select two, select three, then I'll ask it to combine all of them. That's union. Combine, it will unionize it. Now watch what happens. You can see now that I've increased the corner radius, I now have like this kind of, okay, you see this technique used a lot in so many places. So if I come here now, I can give this like a lighter color. Okay. Okay. So let me come back here and give it a color. Okay, let me give it a color. Okay. So you see this technique used in a lot of designs. Okay. So there are a lot of things you can actually do. I can also reduce the size and move in and have, oops, I want to create something. The problem now is that nothing in my head to create. I'm just trying to show you guys different design techniques. Okay, oops. Okay, yes. You've probably see people using something like this in a dashboard. Okay, so now you can add information. Say add information. Say if you want to give like another color, you can basically draw inside. You can draw inside here. Give this a color. Okay, and then do the same thing. You will see this a lot. You see this a lot, even in shapes, rectangular shapes. Okay, all those. I don't know if you've seen all those bento design style, where you have like a shape that is cut out, but it's kind of curved edge. So you just have to try. So this is weld. They have weld. We have weld. We have trim. That subtract. Okay. So but it will only appear when you choose more than two shapes. Okay. If you have only one shape, it won't appear. If you have two shapes and you select, or two or more shapes and you select them, that is when it's going to appear. Look at it here. Okay. Intersect, exclude. Exclude, we create like a hole punch. Like if you want to make like a donut stuff, that's what you use exclude for as well. So exclude will exclude the part that you place on top. Okay, you can see it. So you can have this. This is purely empty. Anywhere you put it, they're not going to catch you, not go cast. So that's basically what I did there. So what I did there was I got the rectangle and I had my circle here, another circle here. And then I selected and said subtract. Selected again and say subtract. Now to get this soft because if you take a look at this one, you can see it's smooth. This kind of shapes, probably you were thinking if you want to create this kind of shapes, you need some kind of shaping or pen tool to do this. No, this is just your normal rectangle, or you get your normal box. Okay, you get your normal box. So if you get your normal box, let me just do it quickly. You can also decide to use a rounded rectangle, or for now, let's just use a square. Sorry, a circle. You get your circle, you place it here. Okay, you place it here. Then you can select the two of them. I'm just doing it sharp, sharp. You select the two of them, select, and then you do your what? Subtract. Then it will give you this. Then you go and increase the this thing to like maybe 50. 50 is quite much. Let's do 16. Okay, so you see it. Let's do 24. So you see how to get things like this. Okay, so this is what you learn and you move faster in your design career. So let me delete this. And let's come back here and select this guy. And let's go and increase this to like 24. It's to 50. Okay, let's do 40. I think we should have moved the circle a little bit up. Let's do 24 again. It's still coming down. Okay, let's still move the circle a little bit up. We can always move it. Okay, let's open that subtract. Let's open it up. We're going to select our this one. We're going to move. We're going to count to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so let's also select this other circle. Remember, we did the subtract twice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Awesome. Now we are going to just hide this grid for now. So you can see now we've learned something from here. The problem now is if you have this as an inspiration, Sabi do. That one, don't ask me, ask God. Okay, but there's something here. There's something here, and it is the fact that they have. I think the reason why they have more space is because of this text. Okay, because the reason why I'm saying this is in most cases, your boss can actually send you something, especially at the entry level. They will just send you something and say, replicate this design. Okay. Now, what you want to do is to be training your eyes. If you look at this corner and this, it's looking weird. It's not balanced. I don't know if people are seeing it. Check this corner and check this corner. It's it's not balanced. It's looking like you get a pure or mango head. So how do you make sure you get how do you make sure you get the same curve for this? Okay. So here I'm going to select this guy. Okay, I'm going to select this guy and we will do the other way. The spacing between is 32. So ideally, we have 32 here. Okay, and we have what do we have here? 24 here. Ideally, this one is supposed to be 32 plus 24. Let me do that and see. Okay, 32 plus 24. Okay, so you can see right now it looks a little bit more balanced. Okay, although because of this thing we have here, it's just looking, but this is a little bit more balanced. Maybe I would have increased this a little bit, but let's go ahead and add our magic button. Let's go and get the magic button here. Button, we are looking for button. Okay, let's drag it here. Okay, so should we drop the button here? As I'm looking at this now, I'm feeling like, should we drop the button here, or should we just have something like this here? Let's change this to arrow. an arrow which kind of wahala be this one? Okay, I'll look for something magical. Okay. Now, this is one of the things you are likely going to be battling with. Okay. So let's generate an AI or image, or let's just use no need for AI. There should be let's use AI when there's need for AI. Let us go to plugin photos by FreePic. Um, let's do African man selfie. Okay. So let's choose one. Let's choose this one. This person wear cap. I think to be more realistic, I'll choose this person instead. Okay, let me close this. But then it is not centered. So sometimes when you add images like this, when you add images like this and it's not centered, what you can do is to select it, go to that image, and then instead of fill, you want to use crop. So once it's on crop, you can just move it like this. Okay, that way you get it centered. Now, these are things that makes your design looks bad because you've added picture, you are seeing it's not centered. You left it. Okay. So here we are still looking for the best way. Okay, where do we place this button? Okay, so here we can find something abstract. Let's look for something abstract. Okay, because from here, that is where the magic happens. Okay, that is where the magic happens. As I'm thinking, a lot of things already going through my head. I'm already thinking just that this is not like a project that we have time to work on. But imagine immediately you upload the picture as well, there's this ring light just going around here like this. Bim, 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 bim. Now, as you are coming up, if you have that idea, you can always note it. Okay, you must not prototype it. You not be killing away. With time, you grow your prototyping skill. Okay, you can just take note it and tell the developer that as the person upload a picture, there should be like a rim light running through these edges. A rim light running through edges. Now, is it that I am so clever or so creative that these ideas are just coming? The answer is no. Sometimes ideas can come to you. We don't want to doubt that. But some of the ideas I keep coming up with, these are years of experience. Okay, years of experience. Like there is this website I really like. Uh, yes, or an animation that scans his face. That is also a good one. There's this website I really like. What's the name of this website? Oh, let me see. It should be under here. Not here. Website inspiration. Okay. See this website. Okay. Let me show you this website. This website is about to take over very soon, but they never launch. When they launch, I can't wait to be using it in my projects. When you don't use it like this, people go to say you don't bad. They're not gonna say I want tool like that. So you just use it. Within 31 hours, cook something. You know, you don't cook something like this, they're gonna say, oh man, And some of those OGs, some of them can be very stressful. Some of the OGs don't tell the truth. When they don't do it like this, once you just do it, well, I spent a couple of time on Figma, and I was able to come up with this. And, new and a video, now video. This is no one load. I wanted to show you what I was having in mind. Okay, so let's come back here. So I'm thinking. So let's think together. Where should we have these? Because here, this is where the doppelganger is supposed to appear. Where should we have the button? Should we have the button under here and say find my doppelganger? Okay, we can place the button somewhere else because time is going. Let me just put it here. Okay, find my okay, find my doppelganger, and I'm just going to put our little star here. Oh, we can do my doppel. No, no, no. I'm just going to put a little star there, window dots, and let's start for star. So I'm going to hide these other icons, okay? Now, also at this point, we might want to make this button looks a little bit different from these other buttons because this is the button that makes the magic. So I'll come in here and change the primary to something mesh, a mesh gradient. Let's try like a very bright GV mesh gradient. Okay. So if you scroll down, you are going to find the mesh gradient. So this is the advantage of a design system because it saves you time. And let's see this one. This it work? Ah, I don't know how I feel about this one. Ah, okay, let's use those. Let's use those. Okay, let's use this one because our team is a little bit purplish. Let's do for something purplish. Okay, find my doppelganger, and has this thing open? Now take a look at this website. The thing I want to show you no can load after everything load. Eh? Which kind of while be this? Something I want to show you no load. The ones who I don't want to show now in load. Eh, just for my hand. Voila. Now, of course, on this site, if we're trying to do like the full app or if we had time, the interactions is what will make this have like a very good user experience. That's why I said as we're just starting, even if you are if you get a job, even if you don't, have the skill set yet, at least have the idea so that you know where you're having deficiency in. You should only be deficient of skill, not deficient of ideas. If you are deficient of ideas, nobody will hire you, or if they mistakenly hire you, they will sack you. Let it be that you are deficient of skill. That way, you know that you can learn it. There's something that's supposed to appear here. My network is quite slow, so let me just come back here. So we have this here. So for this, we can just decide to make it pop a little bit more. And how can we make this pop a little bit more? We can still select these guys. Let's select everything here, and everything here, and add it in. Okay, frame selection. Let's just call it image section. Image section. And let's select it with this one and do Shift A. We might want to add it like inside a container of their own. Let's use 32 there. What's going on? What's going on here? What's going on here? Let me see. I think I missed something. Okay, main container frame 19. What is frame 19 holding? Your image, subtract your image, your image. Okay. Uh-huh. Let me see. Okay. Button. Select this. Select this. Shift A. So what was happening earlier? 32. Okay, I'm coming. I'll find out what the issue is. 32. So center. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Let me set it to fixed. Let me see. Okay. 32 up and down. Okay. Let's select this. Let's see fixed. 32 left and right. Okay. Okay. Now I get what is happening here. So it was not scaling. So let me do fill container. Is the auto frame that's having this issue. Fill container. I'm going to select this one too. And constrain. Okay. So constrain, scale. Let me see scale. Why is this behaving like this? I don't have time for this. I really don't have time for this to figure out why this thing is not working. But what I wanted to do is to just give it like a glowing outline as well. So I'm just going to add like a glowing outline as well, just to elevate the design. Increase it to about 5. Maybe the dot line, a little bit of curve there. Okay. And maybe a white fill. This should be outside. I'm just going to manually increase. I'm going to remove this auto frame since it's giving me wahala. And I'm just going to improve this and improve this. Oops, sorry. Center. Okay. And let's go and give it like a very light background feel. $24, let's do 32 as well. Let me see. That background color is not coming out. Okay. And our doppelganger center. Okay. And how are we seeing this dotted line? Let me remove it from dotted. Let's see what we have instead. Solid. Let's try inside. Okay, I think the inside one works better. But I'm going to increase this because I can clearly see, since what we wanted to do didn't work, I can clearly see I need more space in here. So let me draw a rectangle. We can always use our rectangle for it. So draw a shape, a square. What's the distance between here and here? That's what I want to measure. The distance between here and here. Okay, that's 32. So I'm just going to bring it this side. Okay, select this frame now and bring it right here. Okay. Okay. Then we select this, we center it appropriately. We can now add a little bit of a nice soft shadow right there. Effects, shadow. You can see I just went to shadow and I took one there. For the background, what color should we use as the background? Let's try 50. Okay. And I think this is my shadow. This is my shadow. I might want to do maybe medium. Okay. So what should we add here before the person clicks on doppelganger? Find my doppelganger. We need to put something here. Remember here we said if we wanted during the interaction, it could just be different pictures that will flip, and if it find the right person, bam, we found your doppelganger. And so here we're just going to put yes, but the dummy image, we need what kind of image should we use? We just have like 6 minutes more. What kind of image should we use? Okay, I think in this scenario, let's try generating images with an AI. That's this thing I told you, that line, this line, the way I wanted this line to be, but the way I want to animate this line if it was in production. Watch what happens when we use this image generator. We click on make magic. Okay, so let's say 3D face model with a face scan. With a face scan uh, access. Okay. Access. Okay, let me just see what this one gives me first. So make magic. Watch what happens if I click on make magic. You see this? You see this rabbit running around? That's what we could do with that stuff. Okay. Now don't come to Figma and say you are trying to do all these things. There are better softwares you use. Like a lot of people use After Effects to create their interaction. That's what you don't know. Let's see what it generated. Better with this. Anyway, I'm not gonna blame him. Now me no type waiting I want. Not there's something in my head, but I'm as I'm teaching, I'm finding it difficult to really. If we put this thing, nobody go agree use them now. Okay, let's manage this one. But it's looking, it's looking diabolic. So let me put it here. No. So let's reduce this. Now let me show you people how to also use mask. Okay. Now you know if this was a frame, if this was a frame, okay, if this here was a frame, this rectangle, if it was a frame, immediately I add this image, it will clip inside. but it's not a frame, it's a shape. So how do we clip this image inside this shape? So first, you need to put it right under that shape. Okay, you can see I dragged from the layer and it's right under the shape. And no, sorry, on top of it. Then I'm going to select the two of them and I'll click on what? Mask. Okay. If you click on use as mask, then you can go ahead and increase the image. This isn't the image I have in mind, but remember, this is like a live design. I didn't plan all these images. Then find my doppelganger. We can always find something better. This guy looks scary. Okay. If now me, I don't run. This is not giving a good user experience. This is government won't find my face. Okay. Now there are different ways you could do this. Like right now, I'm having different ideas as I'm looking at it and I don't like it. This could also be like a gray, this part could be a stack of photos, right? Stack of photos, different stack of photos right here. So, and you have that button on top that says find my doppelganger. And the reason why I don't want to do that now is that will make us to move this one, which will also affect the entire layout. So we're going to use this for now. Okay. So find my doppelganger. Yeah. So what we are going to do is this image. Okay. So this image, and we're going to go to prototype. We're just going to move this here. Okay, we're going to move that there, and we're going to set it to after delay. We're going to say after delay. Now, this 800 ms, okay, the 800 ms means milliseconds. So 1000 milliseconds makes 1 second. Sorry, 1 second. Which kind of 1 seconds? 1000 milliseconds makes 1 second. So you should know that. So if you want it to change within 1 second, you want to make it 1000 ms. 2000 ms, 2 seconds. Now, if you want it to happen within half a second, that should be what? 500 ms. But we are going to make our own. We are going to make our own 500. Let's use, okay, let's just use 1.5. Okay, after delay 1.5. That's 1.5 seconds. It should also be instant. Yes, it should be instant. Okay. Now, if we wanted to animate this guy, we could actually animate this from 0 to 100 using smart animate. Okay, but we don't have much time. So it's just the same thing. If you have it here, okay, let me do it quickly, but we are not going to do it inside this. So you guys should not say, I know CMO, so I don't know. So if you have your rectangle here, okay, I think that's the last tutorial we'll do for now, because we are rounding up next week and introducing you to your project. Let me go back to design, okay? Let me do this and let's just do 100. Okay, so let me duplicate them. Okay, let me duplicate them, and I'm duplicating it. Okay, the best thing to design this is either you use mask or use frame. The fastest way for me would be to use frame. Okay, so to right click them and also select use frame selection. Where is it? Frame selection. Let me also make the frame 100. Clip content. Yes, I want to activate. Oops. I want to activate clip content for this frame. Flip contents, set here to 100. Now this guy, although use mask would have been the best option, but we don't have time. So let me select this. So you want to like show this to move from this to this. So you can actually reduce this like this. Okay. Reduce this to like this. And then duplicate it. There are different techniques, okay? But let me just show you one. Different techniques. Now I can now select this one, reduce it up to this point, like this, and then remove. But it won't go straight. I'm already seeing it. I don't have to remove the fill, okay? Then on this one, you want to select that same shape and now move this way. Bam. Now select them and combine component sets, okay? So when you come here, prototype, you can now say on click, it should move to this, okay? And on click, it should move to this. And then here, that's the most important part. Here, you want to use smart animate. Then we can make it to take like 1000. That's 1 second. So let's do 2000, 2 seconds. So we're going to call here progress bar. Okay. Now let me go and drag it in inside the frame and let's preview it. Let's drag it in inside this frame and let's preview it. Assets, pro. Okay. Let's say no be progress by you 7. I'll open here. Look at it here. Now progress by column. So let's go ahead and preview it. So if you click, you can see it back. If you let me refresh. So if we wanted to prototype it, that's basically we did prototyping during spending. It's the same principle, right? 2 states or 3 states or anything you want. Yes, you click, then it goes, right? You click, then it goes. Hey, well, waiting can't go like this. Anyway, but like I said, there are better apps. Like I personally, I use ProtoPie and After Effects to do my prototypes, okay? And in most cases, there are some interactions. There are some interaction I don't even prototype. For instance, if it's a website I'm designing, and I know I will be developing the website, I won't even bother adding interactions on Figma. I'll just explain it to the stakeholders. Then when I'm developing with something like WordPress or Webflow, I use GSAP for the animation. So instead of wasting time. So let's try this out. Let's click on upload image. Oops, we want to take a picture, take a picture, take a picture, take a picture. Okay, let's upload. Bam. And after sometimes it takes us here. So we are here. Okay, you can see I didn't have to click to come to this page. So imagine we added that interaction. It will just go ping and it will come to this page. Okay. And the only thing we want to recreate now is when you click on find my doppelganger, it's going to now it's going to perform its magic. Now, if I also want to make this thing look like it's rotating, it's easy. It's still the same principle. I'm going to just duplicate this and okay, let's do that. Let it not be looking at us like Okbolo. So let me select this guy and I'm just going to bring this guy out here. Let's bring this guy out here. And let's duplicate it. Although this button is not supposed to be here, so that it will just be this component. Now, if I go inside this outline, you see this mesh gradient. Let me remove it and also select it here remove the mesh gradient. Now I can come in here. You can see it's like an image. Okay, I can come in here and then I can actually rotate this image, or if I set it to crop, okay, I can rotate that image. Crop, okay, rotate this image like this. Okay, now if I rotate this image like this, you can see that the colors have changed, the direction of the color. So I select these two now. Let's just leave the button inside. Okay, I select these two and I do shifts. Sorry, say shift. I select this one, I do component sets. Okay, now I can call this image uploaded, something, whatever. You can call it anything later on. Then I come here, I select this, and I say move to this. Okay, now I'll just use after delay because I don't want it to be clicked on before it moves to this one. Then this waiting period, I'm just going to use 1 second. May no wait at all, because if it's waiting for 1 second before changing to this, people will see it. People will say, we know what you do for here. Now I'm going to tell it to be very slow. Okay, to be very slow, and I might want to use something like gentle or easy in. Okay, let me use that gentle there. We can also try spring later. Then I come back here and I will tell it immediately this one changes to this. You sharp, change to this one too. Okay, although I would have done it with 3, but let's continue. Change to this one too. After delay, no waste time, time no day to waste. 1. Okay, now let's come and drop it back here. Okay, let's come to our design and let's look for it. This is the guy here. Drop it here and let's center it properly. And let's go ahead and preview our design. I think this time around, let's preview it again. Let's remove this guy and don't do best. So let's select this guy and let's go ahead and preview. Okay, let's preview, upload image. Yeah, upload image. Okay, and it will appear. Well, I think there's there's something happening with the shape of the outline. There's something happening with the shape. I think it's from the shape. But if you notice from here, you can see the image going around. I think, is it from the cropping or something? But basically, that's how you achieve it. I think we should just try and achieve it. I don't know why it's doing this like this. Is it the rotation? Maybe I need to just, instead of using an outline, I can use an image and clip it inside. Okay, I think that would have been the best approach. But if you notice, it's also changing. And I think if you want to make it more realistic, 1 second is that 2000 that we used is quite much. It's quite small. It's quite small. So we could have used the larger number. We could have used like a larger number. Let's say, oh, this one is even under 800 ms. Let's use 4000. 4000 here. Let's also use 4000 here. Oh, no wonder they didn't even change. That 2000 would have actually worked, but I didn't know that. I said 2000 with mount. I can't go put 400, 800. Upload and upload image, and it comes here. Now, just imagine this was right here. Okay. Imagine it was right here, so it was not shifting. I think I'll find out why it's shifting. But just in case, let me show you people how I would also solve this. Okay, realistically, how I would solve this. Let me just, it's 7-Eleven. Okay, I think in our next 7, it's already 7-Eleven. I need to go now. But realistically, what I could do is to clip this image using a layer clip so that this excess is coming out. The excess is coming out. It's an outline, that's why. It's an outline instead of an outline, but it's an outline, that's why. If it's a fill, it will just clip. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me do this. Let me do this and see. Let me remove it. Okay, let me also remove it here. I just want us to have an idea before we go. So let me use a fill instead. This one has even made it pop. You see? So sometimes na mistake. If someone see me now, say, yes, I dreamt about it in the dream. I saw it. And then I was told, my son, use that color to make it pop. Now, a lot of things in creativity sometimes are just afterthoughts. That's the truth. Like I was telling some people last time that the microwave you use at home, na mistake for research. They were never planning to use microwave. So let me just use another. Let me just use this one. Okay. So maybe our buttons now, our buttons can now have a very bright outline. Our button can now have a very bright outline to make it pop. Six. Okay. Let's take it all the way to 2. Okay. That's gradient linear 6 and all the way to 2. You see how correction make us stumble on something better. Gradient 6. So when you are designing your own, you can always inspect this bar and see what we've used. Gradient 6 and all the way to 3. Okay. Now we are going to see the effect again. Let's take a look at it. Okay. Upload comes here and it's changing. It's going to change to the other guy. Is this expecting us to click? This guy is not changing. 4 seconds never pass. Let me go and look for what the problem is. Let's come back here and troubleshoot. What could be the problem? Select this. Okay. Okay. Okay, let me select this as well. Let me check from the prototype. I just want the color to switch. Okay. Let's do 4,000 is fine. Smart animate. Let's just use easy in. Smart animate, easy in. Okay. Let me change this. Let's use 3,123, 3,000. And let's also use 3,000 here. 3,000. So let me see what happens now. I think that because I add them as an afterthought. Okay. It don't verse, but it's supposed to switch. Expecting it to just change that color seamlessly. It's not supposed to rotate because it's not the same image, but it should have changed or rotate seamlessly. But that's not an issue. But we have a new design now for find my doppelganger, and I think this one is better. I just wanted that small interactions to be there, but basically, I will find out why it's not working. It's supposed to work because when you have two color, okay. If I have two color here, if I have like this, basically what the concept of what I'm doing, the basic concept is this. If you have two color here, okay, if you have two color here like this, let's say brown, and you have red, okay, maybe I will go and check the layer name. If I select these two and create a component set, and I say from here, prototype, from here, come here, okay, let me just use on click so that it will be fast, and then you from here to here. Nah, true. Oh. Which kind wahala be this? Oh my God. I don't behave like students today. And you people didn't point it out. Nah, true. Let me come here and change the color. Oh my God. And I was hoping for a change when there is absolutely nothing to change. Hi. So let's select. Thank God for pointing that out. Okay. So it's quite a funny oversight. So you select this here. So let's go and choose the other mesh. We are basically doing it together. I think we are basically doing it together. It's not like I've done it somewhere and I'm doing it. If I've done that, this class would have been so perfect, but you won't know how I went about getting all these ideas. Okay, so that's why I didn't want to use that approach. Let's see the new one. Appear. Okay, I think it's the network. It's still a try load. Now I want something closer to where we are coming from, so it's not too drastic. This network again. Okay, we are actually done. I will try as much as possible. So replicate all these screens that we've done. Okay, you can add your own serere inside if you have. If you don't have, just change color. Change color. If you have, add your serere. If you no get, change color. No go do pass your power. This is just your second month. Eh? No go do pass your power. You go come dey feel bad about yourself. I've been designing for more than 7 years. So this is what I was doing. If I click, you can see it's easily changed to red. Are you getting it? So that's basically what is basically the same idea that we have going on here. So let's click on upload image, upload, it comes here. And yes, what will be this? Clear road. Clear road. Thank you, Sunny. We for there, they say Figma don't spoil. Eh? You know, some people once they try it like this and it no work, then go say, oh, more Figma don't spoil. Although the easy in, we might want to go and change it back to gentle or easy in out so that it's just coming smoothly. So this is how much we can go for today. So at least we've done the process whereby the person clicks on the upload button and the person what uh, what is it again? The person clicks on the upload button, the person enters, and we could even do this on the outline self if this is too much. We could even do it on the outline just to change the outline. No need to even rotate it. We could have just used different colors and then we get that outline effect. Okay. I think I'm going to, okay, let's just leave it this way. Let's leave it this way. Then if you click on find my doppelganger, it's just going to, it's going to come up. So we are done for today. Please make sure you come in. So, like what I was telling you, most times, the most important skill you need now, please, I want you to focus on the right things. The most important thing you need now is to be able to have an idea and think of how it's going to work. Just like what we started from the beginning. We said, okay, since this is what we want to do, we are going to have a screen. People upload their picture and it searches the system and it brings out their information, their doppelganger. If the doppelganger is not there, we tell you, say, if it didn't there, it didn't there. So we tell you, say, it didn't there. Try back later. But if it is there, we show you your doppelganger. And if you want to meet them, if you want to really see them and connect with them, we can now charge you for it. And who knows, we might actually become a fraudulent company in such a way that if we don't see your doppelganger, we will tell you, say, we don't see him. Pay. We will connect you. If you pay finish, we now tell you, at this point, we couldn't find your doppelganger. Please try again later. Your 1K don't go. If you the best, go meet EFC. Okay. So we've done 4 great screens. Now, again, some of you beginners, once you are starting, some of you myself, if you are using a screen for inspiration as you dey design, if someone just come your back, you go delete the inspiration. Maybe like say everything they come from your head, you are deceiving yourself. Okay, always have always have a screen. You can see the way I call this my inspiration. I'll just move everything here down to that screen. Okay, some people call it mood board as well, but although mood board is a little bit different, but I can just move it to inspiration. So you shouldn't be ashamed. In fact, at this stage, one thing I also advise people to do at this stage, if you go to Mobin, okay, if you go to Mobin, get an image, bring it inside this Figma, reduce the opacity, lock it, and try redesigning it by placing your own elements on top of those designs. That's where you learn. The problem is most people want to learn as if they are professional. So they are learning and they are hiding. They want to claim that now from their head everything came from. It is not from your head. Eh? You are just deceiving yourself. And that is why if you keep behaving like that, by the time you reach somewhere where there is nothing to use, well, you now start saying, I'm feeling like an imposter syndrome. Why I not go feel like an imposter syndrome when I use starter? So now that you are learning, learn like a starter. Duplicate with pride. Duplicate with pride. The only thing you don't want to do is after duplicating, you will now come to Twitter and told us how you were sleeping and the idea hit your head. Uh, But to be honest, if you also check these designs, okay, if you also check this design, you might not even know that we referenced or got inspired for these things somewhere, right? Because their idea and our own idea is different. In fact, that guy used gradient color. You use them, you know, use them. Nobody else use gradient color now. Can that guy come now and say, na that my design be this? In a case. Okay. But he don't even get button. We get button. See our button self get shine background. Find my doppelganger. So any questions so far? So you can see that this journey is not really easy. You can see what we've been doing so far. And with 2 hours, we're able to achieve this, which is pretty fast, okay? Which is pretty fast. Now, the truth is, like I said, the more you keep designing, the more ideas keep coming to you. So here, I want to do this full screen, okay? But we still have our, I want to do this full screen and come to Figma free pick. Photos by free pick. Let's search for white abstract background. Okay. Let's try something. Mm, they touch my under my leg. I think that my village people don't come for me. Okay. Uh, the first one and this one, which one fine pass? Although we are going to reduce it, it's just going to be extremely light. Okay, let's try this. Let's try this. Okay. Okay, so let's come in here, open up this image, increase the exposure. Okay. So let's just preview only this page. Clear road. Class don't close. Now someone will actually. So in the real production, my coding, you can now tell them, make this head they rotate, although this head looks dreaded. Okay. Any questions so far? So when you now click on find my doppelganger, it should find the doppelganger. So I will create the page, that doppelganger page, and you will copy and get. Okay, Rema, go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for this class. It was enlightening one. So my question is that I don't know, can you confirm whether you can hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so my question is, when is it considered, or when is it actually validated that you have actually copied the design? So because I heard a lot of copying of design and then also designing. So what's just the difference between these two? Designing from inspiration and so, like, let me say, for instance, now, if you maybe you go to Dribble, for instance, and then you get a design, and then you copy the whole layout, then but the content inside of the layout are changed. So, can that actually be considered as copy or drawing inspiration? So, I want you to maybe share throw more light on it. When is it considered that a design has been copied, or it has not, or maybe it was inspired? So, I don't know. Yeah, that's my question, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now, um, when you see a copied design, it's going to be exactly the same thing, just like you said, but it's the content that will change. But when you are getting inspiration from a design, most of the time you are looking at patterns and you are adding something to it. When you changing content, no means say you don't add something. Eh? Adding something means exactly what we've done here. If you take a look at that person's own, they didn't use bright icons like this. Also, they have some other things here. We didn't do exactly what they did. Instead, we tailored it to what we want. And you can see our own buttons. We were able to add this instead of those small ones that they had. We added and improved to suit what we want. Will you say Figma copied this share button? Because this button, it choke, it full everywhere. Are you getting it? So it's when you match layout and creativity exactly to your own design that is copying. In that case, you can be humble enough and give the person you copied from a shout out so they will not drag you, right? But when you look at something and you make it better to suit your own need, that is not copying, because that is how the world runs. That is basically how the world runs. Okay, people look at what you've done. Like I told you, the way creativity works, one person's creativity tips off another person's creativity. When I'm seeing what you've designed, I will get a newer idea or a better idea of how it can suit me in a better way. Okay, so that is not stealing. This layout you have here, this icon, the Photoshop, it's not the same thing they do. Will we now say that Figma copied them? The answer is no. Because if you check now, Figma layout, they like this. Photoshop layout, they like this. So, and if you also check the context with which they work, Figma is a little bit different from Photoshop. I seen it. Now, another good example is from the place we got this from. You could clearly see that it's not what we eventually use it for. We have added a whole lot of things, right? We have our curve is even better. We didn't even add the name, and we've added this secondary padding here, even made it to be rotating colors. So this is how what you say you are inspired from, right? And inspiration could also be, let's say you are trying to create a design and you find out that, oh, this your design is for a forest, a nature related company, and then you decided, you know what, okay, so I want to make sure all this my design, I'm going to be inspired by nature. All the fonts, they are going to have flowery effects. Okay, flower effects ahead. So that is it. But as you are starting, please learn like a beginner. As you are starting, if you see a design somewhere and you really want to replicate that design, design it and give the person shout out and say, wow, I replicated this screen. I saw this screen, I liked it so much, and I replicated this screen from so and so person. Don't come and lie to us that you in the dream of the night something hits you. Nothing hits you. Okay. In fact, if you even give the person shout out, you might even just get like a mentor, right? The person might even say, oh, you did well. Before you know, the person doesn't say, you can actually do this thing that he did. Though. If the person have gig, the person can say, I know someone that can actually, if I show some things, the person can do. Okay. But yes, another truth is, more on another, this is plenty of us designer, we are on this table. Another truth is, e get where sapa go hold you. Yes, get where sapa go hold you. You will not have even inspiration to design. So, and the person don't even pay well. The person don't even pay well for you to use your brain. So you just go copy person design. So in that case, what most designers will do, they will look for a designer that is not in Nigeria. Just copy the work, especially if it is a small business. Copy the work, just do am for the small business. The person wey design the original one till he die, you no go see that design. The business wey you design am for, till the person die, dem no go jam, right? If dem no jam, that means na your original idea. Clear road. If dem no jam, na your original idea. Na thief wey dem catch, na him be thief. So yes, sometimes. So don't feel. I'm telling you this thing so you don't feel like this thing they say imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome. If they catch person when never broke. If you don't broke, in fact, there are web developers, people that say they are web designer. You know what they do? When they don't broke like this, when they don't get strength to do any design, they go to a website, download the code of that website, upload it on their own, and change. The world is wicked. Eh? AI. Didn't you notice that Figma stopped using their AI? That their AI generator. Figma has paused it. Why? A lot of people that were testing out the AI just generates images where they similar to Apple apps. Even Apple come, they say, which kind AI be this one? Right? Apple come, they say, which kind, even when you use AI to generate your write-up, where do you think AI is getting it from? Now God creates AI. AI is getting it from things where professors, people who sabi, which they don't write. And there AI too, they generate your own, they give you. But because you're lazy to write, you support that one. But when it comes to AI stealing your design, you are crying. You say, you no go agree, you no go agree. You must agree. AI forever. So please, guys, make sure you create these designs, okay? So we've done 1, 2, okay, and 3. So make sure you replicate this design. I'll do my best to complete these other designs. Like I said, when you are referencing designs, always put it somewhere. Stop hiding it. If you are learning, okay, stop hiding it. Stop forming. So I'll see you guys on Wednesday, okay? Remember, we are wrapping up on Wednesday. If you have questions, drop it right inside the group, okay? Have a good night.